Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Voodoo15 here, and at request, I'm going to do the next training film, and it will be over your radio. Now, flying around is good, and shooting at people and all that business, and you want to get in the air and you want to get into a fight. But the next important thing is communication. If you can't talk to anybody and you can't understand what people are trying to tell you, you won't make it very far. So we're going to start, and you can bring up your text buffer by pressing any combination of keys. But the easiest one to press is your slash key. It's also where your question mark is at, and you simply press that button one time, and this buffer pops up. And as you notice my cursor here, this here is your text box. If I can actually grab it, there we go. This is your actual box here, and this is going to contain all 5 of your radios. As you'll notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then V for Vox. And then this is the only one that you can actually talk over through either. Mine is marked on squad right now. This tells you here in the upper right hand corner, this is your voice. This tells you who is on in 2 items, channel T and room F12. Now we'll go ahead and start, we're going to go ahead and start on this one here. This is your number 1, and you can bring it up with your, I guess that's the /. I have mine on 200 currently, but it'll probably start out on like the help channel or something like that. This is a basic way to set it up, and now you can set this up any way you want. I have mine 200, room, country, squad, and then squad, because I am in a squad. If you're not in a squad, well then these 2 you really won't have to worry about. But for your first one, I would suggest country or room. Some folks are on the help channel, but sometimes there's folks there, sometimes there's not, so I wouldn't depend too much on the help channel. Someone's shooting up the airfield. Somebody having a good time. Anyway, so what I would start out with is make sure that you have country on one of these first 4 and room on one of these first 4, and then I might keep the help channel up on one of these first 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are your text channels. Now, you're asking, well, how do I know which one I'm typing on? Well, you can always press the one that comes into accordance with it. You can press Shift / Control / or Alt and /, and then it'll bring up that radio in particular. It'll bring up this whole buffer, but let me show you right quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift /, and as you'll notice I pressed / the first time, and so this is clicked in. Now you can click on any one of these numbers, and then your text will come out in that deal. You can click on the Vox and you can actually type in that, but I mean, you might as well just click on the 4. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to click on the number 3, and I'm going to tell whoever this is hi. I'll just say, what's up? I'm going to type, and you see it popped up down here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift and /, and as you'll notice, the number 2 is pressed in. Now this is for room. Now room counts for 2 things. Room will go to anybody who is within, I think it's 5 or 6 miles of you, or anyone who took off from your airfield. So say you got a friend that's ahead of you and he's way out in front of you, you could type in purple and it should be able to get to him. In addition to it, if you're flying over a bunch of tanks or something in a random area, you could actually type in over room channel, and everyone within 5 miles should be able to pick up your purple text, and they can respond to it. The number 1 thing I can suggest to you is to get a microphone. It doesn't have to be the best one in the world, but you want to get a decent one to start with. Microphone and good speakers. Because without a microphone you can't talk to anybody, and you really can't answer or ask questions without typing, and while you're trying to fly it's just a pain. So you have each one of these deals. Country here in green, you see it's here in green. That goes to everybody on your country. If you're bishop, if you're knight, if you're a rook, doesn't matter. If you type into country, everybody who is on your country will see it in green on the main text buffer. Now, you can also have dedicated channels. 200 is one that a lot of crap goes on to, but I use it primarily for talking to people from other countries when you have a good fight. So you can leave that typed in, and you can simply do it just by clicking in here, and you'll notice that this cursor now starts blinking within the actual box itself, and you can backspace and you can put in whatever channel you want, like 152 or something like that. But I don't know, if you have a particular channel or you want to make one with friends of yours that you get on with, you simply type it in. There's a ton of different channels. and each one, whatever it is, 1 through 199, I guess, is actually separated from the other countries. So if you're on 152 on your country, you might go to another country and it's used by somebody else. So, you know, if you start to do that, you'll notice that too. You notice your squad. Now this only works if you're in the squad, and I'll show you. Nobody is. I just clicked on roster here, and this will tell you, you know, if someone's in a squad or not. And here I'm not marked as in a squad, but in the main arenas I am. And so anyone who's in your squad and who is on will show up in this channel here, this channel buffer. It'll say channel T, and it'll have like Voodoo 15 and then the other people. And so these people you can talk to through this Vox channel by having it set up on squad, or you can click on mission, in which case when you talk over channel T, which is all you have to do is press the T button, and as you'll notice, just watch here, you see it light up like that. See, right now if anyone was on squad channel, I would be talking to them. So you simply press and hold the T as in tango button, and that should light up, and you should have communications with whoever's on that channel. Now, there's a big difference between the T channel and then F12. F12 only works for 4 seconds. That way you can't just hold the button down. On the T channel, you can hold the button down for as long as you want and talk, and it will never cut out. On Room, F12, it lasts for only 4 seconds. So that's 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. And that's it. It cuts off after that. So if you're trying to get out something important and it takes a little bit of time, you need to stop talking, break it up, let off the button, come back on the button, and start talking again. You'll notice a lot of people will be trying to say something and they get cut off about halfway through it and they don't realize it. So it's very important that you make sure that you break up your communication so that everyone gets the information you're trying to put out. So this is a little deal here. You can mark it and you'll appear in red here in any time. Now if there were other people in the tower with me right now, they would show up in this buffer. Now I'm going to bounce out here onto the tarmac, and I'll show you how it looks when there's someone else on the buffer itself. Of course, if you're not away from the keyboard, then you just unmark it and then you should appear in white again. And you can use your text buffer for all sorts of stuff. Like I showed in the last video, you can show it to end your flight. You can set up a target. You can do all sorts of stuff with your aircraft. I don't know what I fly today. I'll fly A6M3. Anyway, you can do all sorts of stuff with that. Oh, we got new skins. Yes. And so you can do all sorts of stuff that's pretty cool in there. I like the little green one though. Anyway, so we're going to take off here. I don't need my joystick for that. And got a little bitty desk now, so it's a bit difficult to get all my stuff set up here. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to bring up my deal, and as you'll notice that Lord 94 is in range. Usually I keep this up here, and I keep my buffer when I can grab it down here. So, as you'll notice, what I'll do is I'll keep it up here where you can see it. You'll notice that he's now within range. That means when I come over F12, that I can talk to him temporarily for the 4 seconds. And if I wanted to, I could actually set up a channel. You know, you can put channel numbers in here, like 101, I think is the help. You simply type it in, and 101. You're good to go. Now other people say .radio 5, and then you can type this, or actually see, popped up in it. 101 is the help channel, I forgot. You'll notice he did pop up in it. I'd forgotten. It is 101 is the help channel. So I can actually talk to him through the help channel right now. You see how he appears in the channel? See, I do remember something. Anyway, you can do that. And people say, okay, type .radio and then the number blah 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 blah. The easiest thing to do is take your little cursor and click. And you'll notice it's blinking red, and you type in whatever number you want. If they say, hey, we're on channel 102, 102, and you can press enter. The cursor pops up down here, and now you're on channel 102. Now you can also do that other thing, and it's dot radio 5 102. You have to make sure you have the dot in front of it. If you don't have the dot in front of it, it will not work. Now it disappears, but you'll notice that, well, that's not a very good example here. Dot radio 5 106. As you notice, it's now 106. How's it going, man? Oh, nothing much, man. Actually doing a tutorial of the radio right now. So anyway, so as you'll notice, you got all this set up here, and you can type in any one of these things. And I'm gonna put this back to squad. That is the basics of it. Now you can use your T channel when everyone's on it, but for this channel here, you'll notice it lights up in purple. Now you can press the F12 key. I have it slaved to my joystick. It's one of my closer buttons on the joystick, so that I can easily press it while I'm flying and talk over the radio while I'm flying. Now you can do anything like .ef. Just make sure you don't put the slash in there. Let's see, .target 500. I don't think that worked. No, I have to put the .target 500. Now there it is. Now what that does is that puts a target 500 yards away from me. Now, I'll use it a lot when I do the convergence bit later on. I think I got these guns set at 300 to tell you the truth. Yeah, I think so. But there's a bunch of different commands you can put in. You simply type .target 0 and it'll disappear. Make sure, what I was messing up was no space between the dot and whatever the first word is. And see, it disappears. There's a bunch of different commands you can put in, and I don't know all of them, but you can talk to people and learn them. There are a bunch of them. .salvo is a setup for your bombs and rockets, stuff like that. And there's a number of other ones, so you can learn those as you go along. I don't know all of them. There's probably somebody who does know a lot of them. So the main thing is, what we're trying to do is get you into the air and get you to where you can communicate with other players. And the most important way to communicate, and the easiest way for people to talk to you, is through the radio. And so I can't stress how important it is to be able to talk through the radio, because if you can talk through the radio, then you can ask all sorts of questions. But people can actually describe it to you based off what you're looking at. It's very hard for people to type to you and they're not really sure if you understand it or not. And so it's important that you learn to control the radio. And the radio does a lot of different stuff, and a lot of it I didn't cover today. But essentially, you should be able to type text, or type in text, you know, the same thing. And you should be able to use it to communicate. Yeah, it's always trouble. And that should pretty much bring you through it. But essentially, I messed up right there. See, I have my text buffer up, and I was pressing space to break. Well, it's actually typing space on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to backspace. You have to be careful when you do that, because if you have it up, it will impede you doing whatever you're trying to do. I always like to type, I just hit the slash, and then I just come up here and I click on each one. And each one of these has a drop-down box where you can change what it is, from help to all country. Now in this one you have, in this arena, the training arena, you have the all channel, where everybody on every country can see what you're typing. You generally don't use that unless you're in like the dueling arena or something like that. So your basic setup should be room, country, and then the other two are free, pretty much, for what you want. Once you join a squad, if you get the chance to join a squad, then you can set up for squad, and you can change this. You don't have to set it up the way I have it. I don't know what the default setting is. I think it was like this one was country and this one was room, and then these two are like free in this one. So questions, comments, please feel more than free to ask me. And I guess I'll see you in the air.